Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is I walk the line. There are many teachers I've studied that say like it's a narrow path to to have the spiritual advancement that you would seek in this life. It's a very narrow line you're walking on to become the being that is ultimately going to be evolved in the paradigm. And I find that to be very true. I've been thinking about this like thin line that I walk on a bunch in the past month or so. I have this tendency, and I take responsibility for this because I take responsibility for all of my life because I believe that I am a creative mind telling the quantum waves of probability what type of particles to be, and I have a hyper responsibility for what I'm creating. I have a tendency to create X's that constantly want to come back and taste the fruits of Heather Featherness, And it's like, thank you, I guess. But if a yes became a no, it became a no for a reason. And it's difficult for me. At 49, do I want to be held? Of course. Like, I love the idea of holding someone's hand, of kissing someone's neck, of being snuggled and being with a mate. It's just that also at 49, there are a lot of things that in relationship I'm not willing to tolerate. And the sweetest thing to me, the most lovely type of union is one that is completely loyal, completely committed, completely devoted. And over time, your love builds. And in the building of that love, you walk this kind of narrow path of true union. And in order to be in true union, you have to face the trials and tribulations together. You have to take the masks off and into me see together, be willing to see into one another. You have to be willing to forgive. I've always felt like I do feel like I have a divine destiny of loving and being loved on all levels, as the Akashic Records has stated to me. And I've always felt like this person is somebody that's going to have to forgive me. And I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like they're going to have to forgive me because I'm weird. First of all, I will probably be doing weird stuff because I make a lot of noises and I mumble to myself. And so they'll have to give me a grace, give me a pass on that non-normalness that I reflect. I don't know. I've always felt like the heart that's going to ultimately eventually be next to mine is going to be one that is as forgiving, as loving, as, willing to continue to remain on the thin line of stepping towards love together as I can be. And there are ways that I do that. I want to talk about this in a few different regards, but relationship is something that's often on my mind. I really work for it to not be because I have a lot of things I'm supposed to focus on. But there's somebody that deeply interests me in this world. I see him like once a week, and he's so lovely. And so it's hard to not think about it when I've got this person on my mind, and I kind of am walking this line. I had an opportunity this week to connect with my ex, and so he's going to be watching my cat when I'm out of town. We remain friends, but to connect in a more intimate way. And what I know to be true is, even though I love him, even though he's a beautiful man, he's not my guy. There's someone in this world that is my person. And I know it's not him because when we were together, he was with other people. And when we were together, I was not with other people. And when I'm with someone, they have my devoted, undivided attention. And I know that's not a match to what I seek. And I know that ultimately, even if we were to come back together, I can't trust him to be with just me. There's clearly an explorative nature there. And I love that for you. And may you have what you seek. And may all the broads bark up your tree, But I'm seeking somebody that has a similar frequency of it being enough to have one hand to hold. And that is satisfying, and that's plenty, because for me it's plenty to be with one person. And so I walk this narrow line of being loyal to a mate I'm not even with yet. And that's weird. It's like, I don't have to be loyal to somebody. There's no one in my life right now. Granted, there's someone that I like. Um, and the reality is, I don't want to lay with someone else if I'm thinking of this person over here, whether I'm with them or not, whether we wind up together or not. Right now, my attention is with one person, and they're amazing in every way. Really an unbelievable human. And if I had the grace to hold their hand, I would absolutely take it. And um, I don't want to disperse my energies into false dreams. I want to walk that narrow line of remaining available physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to walk the line with this guy if that opportunity does unfold. The challenge I'm facing is I have a hard time believing that we could ever come together because he's super handsome. It's just like, this is the person that I think is out of my league. And it's like, I don't see how that could ever come together. But every day I work a little bit to believe that it can, because I can never perceive what I don't believe. So every day I try to sit a little bit in the belief that I could hold his hand one day. And whether that comes to pass or not, whether it's his hand that I ultimately hold, there's somebody that I will eventually be with. And right now, it's important to me that I walk the line of loyalty on the path to them, and that I just be devoted and open to coming into union with whoever this wonderful being is. I walk the line in a lot of ways, though. I do usually 100 sit-ups and 60 push-ups every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Lately, I've been having chocolate because I'm not having oxytocin, which is the chemical you release when you're falling in love, because I don't have partnership in my life. I'm not releasing oxytocin because I'm not getting hugs, because I'm kind of a hermit introvert. And so I've been eating chocolate. I'm not a huge chocolate eater, but I've been eating chocolate because it kind of could give you that euphoric feeling. And so I've doubled it. And so now I'm doing 200 sit-ups and 120 push-ups. But that is me walking the line of my physical health, and it's a narrow path. And so I'm cooking organic meals at home, and although I've added a little chocolate in, I'm still making sure that I'm eating like organic fruits and vegetables and maintaining a dieta that is honoring of my temple. And I walk this narrow line of exercise and proper diet because I want to be able to tie my shoes when I'm 89. I want to honor. There's a future version of Heather that's 89 years old. And can she stoop and bend to pick something up when she drops it? Well, that depends on if Heather in her 40s is stooping and bending to make sure she'll be able to pick up things when she drops them as an elder woman. I think a lot about my older self, you know what I mean? And so I want to walk this thin line with her where I honor elder Heather, because she's coming like a freight train. Like, I know that I'm going to live a long life. I know that I'm not going to die soon. I've stood in the veil of death my whole life. I've said I've been married to Hades or Osiris my whole life. I have cold hands. I have the hands of a dead person. I should eat more strawberries. Sure, it's good for circulation, but I think it's because I feel like death has been holding my hands my whole life and just been like, look at everything that dies. Like, wonderful. You're very handsy, death. I don't want a handsy partner. Can you let go of my hand so I can be married to life at some point? But I walk this line of knowing death is coming. And even though I know I'm going to have a long, full life, even though I see that psychically for myself, I maintain the narrow path of where I am today to become the woman I want to be as I'm closer to the grave. And that includes me, there's a man I'm daydreaming of every day. Just like, God, I wish I could kiss his neck. And I really try to be not thinking of that too much, but it's difficult. He's very attractive. So as I get distracted in my daydreams, I'm walking this thin line of, Heather, don't live in a daydream. You'll know if you have potential with him because he'll come towards you. And that's the decision you've made, is that you're no longer going to write 4-month love poems to people and hand them to people you're interested in. You're just going to sit back and let somebody come towards you. And that's how you'll know mutual interest is present. And so I've decided to set that line of no longer just putting it all out there and allowing things to transpire and unfold. And so I started painting, and I decided every Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to paint. And I gessoed my canvas on Tuesday, and I'm going to re-gesso it, and because it needs a lot of gesso because I started the painting and I need to redo it and smooth it out. And so I'm walking this thin line of being devoted to being the creative woman that I am and creating the things I want to create. Kundalini energy sits in the sexual center chakras of Muladhara and Svadhisthana. The root and the sacral chakra both hold sexual capacity and energy, and that's where our Kundalini is, and that's where it awakens in our late 40s. And so, although my sexual energy can be great and can be overly activated, that's also creative energy. And so, since I don't have a partner and I don't want to overstimulate those energies with the potential for previous partners, I'm going to take the creative energy and I'm going to throw it at something and I'm going to use it because it's activated. So I'm using that active Kundalini energy and I'm walking this thin line and making sure that I'm creating what I want to create in my paradigm. There are many, many ways we can walk a thin line to have the life that we want to have. I like to have a very tidy home. I like to have a very organized, clean home, and I can sometimes, I'm a pretty happy person. I feel like I've spent a lot of my life being sad and grieving and being depressed. And so really all I want to do with the last half of my life is laugh like a clown. It's part of why I spend tons of time on Instagram looking at animal best friends and like positive things, like all of my social media. When I get stuck in it, it's usually because it's like this bear is friends with this duck, and these humans went and saved this moose's beloved. I'm just like, oh my God, I love these humans. I love these two-leggeds and these four-leggeds. And so I'll get stuck in my own version of oxytocin release, if you will, which is the chemical we release when we receive hugs or when we feel love. When you have sex, you release oxytocin. You feel like you're falling in love. But so I'll get stuck in these traps of social media where I am giving myself oxytocin, but I try to give myself the neurochemistry release that I want through achieving and through walking the thin line of having the life that I want. And so if I start to ever become depressed, I know that that's happening because I didn't get the dishes done. I like a clean kitchen. I like to go to bed with a clean kitchen. I like to wake up and make my coffee in a clean kitchen. And so if I leave dishes in the sink, it's like, okay, something's going on. I think you're sad or something. But so I walk this thin line of like, cleaning, I decided a long time ago, is a Zen meditation for me. Why did I decide that? Because I'm going to have to clean from now until I'm dead. Cleaning is a part of life. And I don't want to be like, oh, chores. I don't want to do that for a lifetime. I don't want to have a bad attitude about something that I'm going to have to do because I want to have a clean home. I am the light of love. I'm the light of the divine. I don't belong in a home full of trash or a car full of trash. So like I take care of the temples and the chariots that I allow the light of the divine to walk through. It's one of the ways that I honor the divine is by honoring the temple I've been asked to steward that holds the light of the divine. And so I walk this thin line of making sure that I do my dishes, that I do this Zen meditation of keeping the outer and inner temple clean. And I do that to the best of my ability. And I just wanted to share this with you. I was thinking about Johnny Cash last night. He was Man in Black, and then he became very spiritual, and he wrote a book called Man in White. And I've always admired him because he and his behavior behaved like a true Christian. He would play for prisoners. And I always loved that about him. Playing at Folsom Prison, it's amazing, amazing album. But like, what a beautiful line he walked of actually being truly Christian in his behavior. That's what Jesus was talking about, And I want to walk that line too. I want to walk this line of being Heather Feather and the purity of the light of her being that is mindful of, I'm thinking about like, how could I get warm beds for homeless animals this winter? It's like I'm trying to conceive of how I can help those that are in need at all times. When I give food for the Ba and Ka of my dead at my altars, I often go and then give it to the homeless. How can I contribute more? What lines are you walking in your life? What narrow lines do you place yourself on to ensure that you be the human you want to be when you take your last breath here at Earth School? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I always love to hear your thoughts. Amun.